Slapped my racist mill for accusing me of cheating due to my daughter's skin color, and now my marriage is in turmoil. Yesterday I slapped my mill in front of my husband. For context, my husband is white and I am mixed. My mom is Puerto Rican and my dad is white. My mom has very dark skin and my dad is pretty fair. I'm pretty white passing, which for those who don't know, means you can't really tell that I am Latina unless I tell you. A running family joke is that melanin skips a generation because my maternal grandpa is also very fair but my maternal great-grandma is very brown. With that out of the way, I'll get into my situation. I have been with my husband for 7 years, married for 5. We have a 3-year-old little girl who is the light of my life. When she was born, she had a head full of dark brown curls, dark brown eyes and a fairly olive complexion. She looks like me when I get tan. You can definitely tell she's part Latino. Despite knowing all this, my mill has gotten it into her head that my daughter isn't my husband's. She's been telling anyone who will listen that I must have had an affair because there's no way her son's child could be that color. Yeah. How nice. My mill has always been standoffish with me. She never made a big effort to get to know me and was always more polite than anything else. Mill has made some offhanded comments before about Latinos, but husband would brush them off because she's from another time. I wanted to write off her behavior as just her not being educated enough. I realize now that was my mistake because it gave her the okay to keep going. When husband and I heard from Sil that Mill was saying this, we invited her over to talk about this. I was really hoping we'd be able to fix this. However, what happened was my Mill going on a rant for like 15 minutes. It consisted of her outing herself as a racist. Saying she knew girls like me couldn't control themselves, that she knew from the start what would happen. Nerve I had to pass my daughter off as her, also some very colorful slurs. Husband and I were frozen in shock because she hadn't even stepped into the house and was just screeching on our doorstep. What snapped me out of it was when she started to insult my mom, saying she probably did the same to my dad. I don't know what came over me next. I've never hit someone before. But I ended up smacking her so hard her glasses fell off. That's what got my husband to start talking. Or rather yelling at his mother and me for acting this way while Mill started to wail. Yes. I shouldn't have hit her, I know. That's wrong. But hearing him imply I was in the wrong the same way Mill was made me more angry. I told him he's just as much a racist as his mom if he was trying to make me out to be as bad as her. I got my keys from inside the house while he was trying to calm his mom down and left. I drove to a hotel and spent the night there. Now it's the afternoon and I haven't left the hotel room since checking in. Husband and several other friends and family have been trying to reach me. I only replied to my Sil to tell her I'm safe at a hotel and asked her to not tell my husband what hotel I'm at. Guilt is starting to sink in and I'm questioning everything. Like, did I allow my Mill to do this? Did I showcase behavior that made her think I was cheating? Does husband think I cheated and that's why Mill has this in her head? And of course, should I be apologizing to husband for hitting Mill? I know violence is wrong and I hate making excuses, but I just couldn't handle someone talking about my family that way. So Redditors, should I be apologizing to my husband? How do we get through this? Any and all advice is appreciated. Update 1. I spent quite a bit reflecting and was able to get an emergency meeting with my therapist this morning. I only have my sister here as my parents moved back to Puerto Rico to be with my grandparents 5 years ago. Some questions I want to answer real quick. K, how old are we? My husband is 28 and I just celebrated my 30th birthday. We met when he was 21 and I was 23. Where was my daughter? I sent her to my sister's on Friday for a weekend sleepover with my sister's family. I picked her up Monday afternoon and we had a little mommy-daughter time going to her favorite place, Costco. Yes, my 3-year-old loves Costco. We got home around 7 after we had dinner. My husband was waiting and I told him we'd talk after kiddo went to bed. When she was for certain asleep, we sat and had a long conversation not just about the fight and his mother, but also race and culture. I saw how my family was treated based on skin color, and while my husband understands racism, he admitted to never really grasping the complexities, especially colorism. A lot of you jumped to me taking my daughter and leaving or telling me he'd leave me. Sorry to disappoint, but no, we're not getting a divorce or anything of the sort. He apologized to me for not standing up for me before and then, acknowledging he didn't want to think of his mother in a racist light. I also apologized for hitting her because in the end, no, it doesn't help us. He did forgive me and said if it wasn't his mom saying it, he'd probably slap them too. We will be going to a marriage counselor, we decided, hoping to find one that specializes in interracial marriage. Our daughter is going to face challenges in the future because of her race. It's sad to say, but unfortunately racism is still alive and we want to know how to protect her and uplift her so she does not feel ashamed of her heritage. We've made the decision to go NC with her and any people who try to bridge communication between us and her. She will have no contact with my daughter unless it's years down the road and she shows significant changes in her behavior. My husband will be driving to her house tomorrow to inform her of our decision. I'd consider a paternity test and DNA test, but only if Mill pays. I don't want to entertain this on my own dime. We've also decided to not make any public post regarding this. If people want to believe her story, that is on them, not us. My husband knows our baby is his. The irony is she looks more like him than me. Her curls are even from him. Update 2. Hello everyone. I think I jinxed myself by saying in my first update I hope this will be my last post because unfortunately, for a lack of a better term, shit continues to hit the fan. For those of you saying I should be arrested for slapping my mill, I hate to disappoint but she is not pressing charges. This is all thanks to my husband who said he'd expose my Phil's various affairs. Yes, it turns out that my Phil cheated numerous times on my mill until his death 2 years ago. According to hubby, he was paying for /actual favors even on his deathbed. This is deeply disturbing because Phil and Mill appeared to have a loving marriage. Apparently, that was just for show. I can't even begin to imagine how hubby is feeling. We talked about it and he said it's something he felt deep shame for keeping from me, but also shame because his parents' marriage wasn't at all what they pretended it was. Husband and I are still looking for a couples therapist who specializes in interracial marriage. Husband is also looking for a therapist of his own after the conversation with Mill opened his eyes to a lot of other traumas and issues he feels haven't been properly worked through. I'm so proud of him for taking these steps. Now on to how the conversation on Wednesday went, which is of course why I made this update to continue to vent. As I said in my first update, husband went over to Mill's house to inform her that her behavior is unacceptable and will be going NC for the foreseeable future. Mill didn't take this well. The irony is that she told husband that he couldn't keep her from her only grandchild. Funny because she spent the week claiming our daughter wasn't his. She threw some colorful insults at me, claiming he was never like this before he met me and that this was all my idea to hide my apparent affair. In response, husband said if she's so certain that I'm cheating and that our daughter isn't his, she can pay for a paternity test and a pie to find my affair partner. You know, AP that doesn't exist. Husband says Mill's face turned a comical shade of red and he swears there was steam coming from her ears. This is when Mill said she'd press charges and husband said he'd just tell everyone about Phil's serial cheating. Mill apparently burst into tears then, got down on her knees, wailing he couldn't leave her. Hubby just pushed her off and left. I had already blocked her number so she can't contact me, but she blew up husband's phone till he came home and he blocked her. Husband is going to be sending her an email reiterating what he said about NC and until she proves she's gotten help, understands she was wrong, and apologizes, she won't be seeing any of us. Both of husband's sisters called us to get the scoop and agreed to set the record straight with anyone who tries to get a hold of us for Mill or tries to echo her conspiracy theories. Anyone who wants to back her up can crowdfund for a paternity test and pie. We've spent too long building up our finances to waste them on the ravings of a mad woman. Husband and I did read comments on the posts, I did tell him about it and show him, and we both thank you for the support and helpful comments. Husband has a special message for those doubting me and saying I should get arrested, get fucked incel. I love this man so much and I'm so lucky to call him my husband and the father of my little girl. We'll be celebrating Mill being out of our lives by taking our daughter out to Texas Roadhouse, eating an ungodly amount of rolls, and seeing Despicable Me 4. Wishing everyone love and thank you again for all the support. Update 3. First things first, Mill did not take the NC declaration lightly. Out of self-reflection or apologizing, she decided to double down in the most dramatic way possible. We received a letter from her lawyer claiming she was going to pursue grandparent rights to see our daughter. Yeah, you read that correctly. The same woman who spent weeks insisting my kid wasn't her grandchild now suddenly can't live without her. After my husband and I stopped laughing at the audacity, we realized we needed to take this seriously. Thankfully, a friend of mine is an attorney, and they assured us that Mill's case is thinner than rice paper. We live in a state where grandparent rights are only granted in cases of estrangement due to divorce or if one parent is deceased. Spoiler alert, neither applies here. Still, the sheer nerve of Mill hiring a lawyer has been a stressful curveball. While we've been dealing with the legal nonsense, my husband's sisters, Sil 1 and Sil 2, have been absolute lifesavers. They decided to do some digging and discovered that Mill has been spinning her web of lies far and wide. According to Sil 1, Mill is telling extended family that I am keeping her grandchild from her because I'm a jealous, unfaithful Latina. She also conveniently leaves out the part where she accused me of cheating, got slapped, and went full meltdown mode. Sil 2, who's always had a bit of a rebellious streak, took it upon herself to expose Mill's lies at a recent family gathering. She literally stood up in front of everyone, pulled out screenshots of texts from Mill, and said, if you're gonna believe this woman, at least get the whole story. Apparently, there were a lot of dropped jaws and awkward silences. Sil 2 said Mill stormed out, claiming we'd turned everyone against her. Good riddance. Amidst the chaos, my husband has been making incredible progress in therapy. During his last session, he had a major breakthrough about why he had such a hard time standing up to Mill in the past. He realized that growing up, Mill had this pattern of gaslighting and emotional manipulation that made him feel like he could never say no to her. It's been heartbreaking for him to unpack, but I can already see how much lighter he feels now that he's acknowledging it. One thing he said during one of our late night talks stuck with me, I spent my whole life thinking her approval mattered, but the only approval I need now is from you and our daughter. Cue the waterworks. I don't know what I did to deserve this man, but I am so proud of him for breaking free from her toxic grip. And now for the twist no one saw coming. Mill's brother showed up on our doorstep yesterday. This man has been a bit of a black sheep in their family, living halfway across the country and keeping to himself. He said he heard about everything that's been going on and felt compelled to come set the record straight. Apparently, Mill has always been, let's just say, problematic when it comes to race and class. Uncle spilled all kinds of tea, including how Mill tried to stop my husband from dating anyone she didn't consider worthy of their family. According to him, she pulled similar stunts with my husband's ex-girlfriends, though none of them were as severe as this. He apologized on behalf of their family and said he fully supports us cutting Mill off. He even offered to help cover legal fees if she drags this grandparent rights nonsense any further. Honestly, he seems like a solid guy, and I'm grateful someone in that family has some sense. As for us, we're focusing on moving forward. My husband and I found a fantastic couples therapist who specializes in interracial families, and we've already had 2 sessions. We're also looking into relocating in the next year or so, just to put more distance between us and Mill. Not running away, just prioritizing our peace. Our daughter, blissfully unaware of all this drama, has been her usual sunshine self. She's currently obsessed with baking, so we spent this morning making cookies while she belted out songs from Encanto. Yes, I'm the mom who sings along and cries every time Dos Oruguitas comes on. Don't judge me. Final thoughts, for now, to everyone who has reached out with support, advice, or just a kind word, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This journey has been a roller coaster, but knowing there are people rooting for us has made all the difference. And to Mill, in case you ever stumble across this post, I hope you find the help you so desperately need, but until then, stay the hell away from my family. Now on to second story. Kicked my fiancé out after finding out he slept with my sister, crushed her memorial garden, and cut out my mom. This is a repost. The original was posted in /r/true off my chest by user independence_odd9989, which Reddit deleted, so she is calling herself constant_sun_2154 now. I'm not the original poster. The new update was found by u/witchywillera. Status, still slightly inconclusive. _original 30-year-old woman here. I have a sister who's just a year older than me. We've always had such a good relationship, so finding out about this one hurt. She might as well have just stabbed me in my heart. On top of that, I've been with my fiancé since high school and we've always been with each other through thick and thin. We were going to get married in a few months. I have no idea why on earth they did this to me. What's even worse was that our mom knew, and out of fear of getting involved, my sister apparently begged her not to say a word. She didn't tell me anything. Thankfully, my dad wasn't having it and he spilled the beans to me. I've never been so angry in my life. Not only did I kick my fiancé out and throw out his stuff, some of it in the trash, but I decided to hurt my sister in another way. Why not do the same for my fiancé? Simple, she's my sister. We've always had a good relationship until she decided to ruin it months before my big day, which I allowed her to be a bridesmaid in. You don't do that to anyone, let alone your sister. Yo, blood. My sister's big on gardening, so when she lost her dog, she made a garden for him. I knocked on her door, she didn't know that I knew, and of course I played nice. I moved on to what she did with my fiancé and I slightly damaged her garden. I honestly just crushed a couple flowers. Am I sorry? No. Her excuse sent me over the edge. It just happened isn't a reason. Sleeping with my fiancé just happened like that, I guess. I told her I didn't want her speaking to me anymore and that I also didn't want our mom to speak to me. My fiancé won't say a word since I threatened to call the police if he ever went near me again. Yay, I made my sister cry and scream at me, but I genuinely feel like I should be the one crying. She knew how important getting married was to me and now I can't experience that. Pair that with the fact that I had to hear this from my dad, not my bum excuse of a sister or fiancé. Hell, even my own mother didn't say a word to me. It's like she lets my sister run her. Fuck you, Tia. Fuck you, Logan. If they ever see this, I'd be absolutely delighted. Edit, since many people keep bringing this up, I'm upset that I lost the relationship I've always put 100% into. I was excited to get married of course, but then this news came out. It really hurt me. I didn't want to believe it at first. I almost thought my dad was pulling my leg. Later turned out to be true. I swear I have trust issues now. Edit number 2, thanks again for all the suggestions, y'all. It's helping me feel more confident in exposing them. I'm just a bundle of nerves right now because I know shit's gonna hit the fan again. When I do so, I'll try my best to come with an update. I mean, it's the least y'all deserve, haha. Last edit, when I say I decided to hurt her, it's because I kinda ruined something so meaningful to her. I feel like for most people, besides on here, that would be a bit far. That's just how I feel though. I understand it's not what you guys wanted, lol. Clearly worked to buy, though, since she thought I was so damn psychotic for that. Like I said, I don't feel sorry about hurting her that way. Update 1. Hey everyone. Seems like my other post has been deleted. Thanks again for the comments and support. I found out quite a bit. To start off, I did expose her and my ex on my story. I unblocked them both to tag them. Shout out to the dude who wrote down what I should say. I saved it and wrote it but added some other words of my own. My ex actually blocked me after he saw my story. I sent my Reddit post to my sister after. At the time, she didn't see, but I got a call from my ex's mom. She was furious about everything, but she asked me how I was holding up and if I've heard the news. My heart sank a little because I honestly couldn't bear to hear any more bad news. I asked her what she was talking about. She said, "So you haven't?" I said no and asked her to tell me. "My sister's pregnant." Apparently, he told her in an attempt to make her chill out on my sister. I didn't want to hear any more, so I told her I needed to hang up the phone. Thankfully, she accepted because I literally burst into tears 2 seconds later. After 5 minutes of crying, my sister responded to my story and text with the Reddit post link. She was texting me in all caps begging me to take it down. If I wasn't so upset, I would have laughed a little, but I just sat there watching her blow up my phone. I got even angrier when she said, "I'm coming over and I'm telling mom that you're spreading my business online. Alright, you big baby." Still never responded though. I felt frozen. 30 minutes later, she's trying to break my door down, so I opened it in a fit of rage and I started screaming all kinds of shit at her. She kept screaming at me to take it down and I told her that's gonna stay up for as long as I want it to. She kept telling me she didn't deserve online hate, and she even tried telling me that she's always been there for me through everything and that she would have forgiven me if it was the other way around. That's when I punched her. A small part of me felt guilty. I'm not the fighting type, and that was probably evident in my last post, haha. But she retaliated by saying it's not my fault, he was tired of you, and that's when I told her that I hope she ends up like her dog and that she deserves every bit of hate she's getting for ruining my relationship. I even apologized for not ruining her entire garden and her stupid face at first. I know I'm wrong for saying this, but the entire time, she was playing the victim. She called me evil and told me to rot in hell. Kept saying I was punishing her over a mistake. I said, "You have no idea what you've put me through, and I know you would have done the same thing if you were the victim." She kept crying and insulting me because all she's ever done was support me through everything, and I had the nerve to hurt her and allow strangers to bash her on the internet. I told her she deserved it and I don't want her talking to me ever again, and if she comes near me, I'm calling the police. She kept saying I was being extremely unfair and that she said she was sorry in her texts, but I wasn't having it. I told her to tell mom I'm not talking to her again either. She asked me if I was really going to cut her off like that, and I just wished her good luck with her unwanted child and told her to go home. That was the last time she walked off my porch. Anyway, I had to clean up my favorite vase because she smashed it, but it doesn't even matter. At least they're out of my life. However, it's weird how sad I feel now. It's for my own good, but damn, I'll never experience the bond we had again. On the bright side, seems like I've dodged 2 bullets. Last edit to say that my dad called not too long ago asking me to take every post down because according to my mother, my bitch sister is bawling her eyes out over mean people on the internet. As if I'm taking anything down. My dad's pissed about her PR pregnancy, but my mom continues to defend her by saying we need to chill out on her a little bit. This is why I'm not talking to her. Thanks again though, everyone. I'm exhausted and I need to worry about other things. Update 2. I've officially decided to go LC with my dad today. Surprisingly, he wasn't that upset about it. However, he's still on team take down the posts, and that's why I made my decision. My mom wants nothing to do with me because if I wasn't going to respect the family, there's no point in trying to get to you. Wow, it's almost like that's what I wanted. My cousin and my ex's sister have been supporting me. Apparently, my sister has had meltdown after meltdown because more people are slowly finding out about the affair, not only in person but on the internet. She actually got into it with my cousin online, and according to my cousin, my sister keeps asking her to tell me to take down the posts because she's sorry and she felt pressured into doing what she did. Last I even heard about my ex was from his sister. She told me that they did speak, and although he's not ready for a child, he doesn't feel comfortable leaving my pregnant sister on her own. He also wants me to stop what I'm doing, but oh well, they're made for each other. Anyway, I've surprisingly been feeling a bit better thanks to my cousin and my new sister, as I like to call my ex's sister now, haha. I've actually gotten some good sleep. Still considering therapy too. A very tiny part of me feels pretty bad for exposing my sister and ex, and I'll always miss the relationship I've had with them, even despite my last encounter with my sister, but they've hurt me and it's what they deserve. If they're not taking it well, that's their problem.